Well, that was fun, Chef Dell. That little clip about the menage, it really was delicious. I'm sorry we couldn't run the whole clip because, and we condensed it on the edited version, from like 25 minutes to 5, but
Right.
we'll have to do it again.
Hey, absolutely.
I know. So you've got a lot coming up this year, but you've got a lot on your plate. Do you have any real big plans? And before we go, a couple barbecue tips for people who
Sure.
want to do barbecues and luau's this summer.
Well, my life is always evolving. I'm always growing, and I want to take the Teens Cook with Heart program nationally. That's definitely something. I'm looking to purchase a very, very large trailer that will have a commercial kitchen in it, because there's a lot of places that don't have the facility for me to be able to teach the class.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll just pull up and be able to teach the class right there.
A food cooking truck.
Pretty much.
Yeah, there you are.
Food truck, very large one, or a food trailer, so that people can actually see me doing it.
Fun.
And do corporate functions and so on.
Great.
The other plans that I have is I'm looking to do a TV show.
Right.
I have written a book. We just have to get it finished.
Wow,
You know what that's like.
Yes, I do.
My editors had it, and God love her. It just there's a chapter in there that's kind of brutal in terms of my previous life that is a little sad, and so it's a little rough for her to get through it, and I understand.
Yes.
So as long as we can get the book done, that would be
Right.
great,
Okay.
because I know people are interested to see it, and I know everyone's interested. I'm always getting asked on my Facebook page, how can I make this healthier? Well, my attorneys tell me not to divulge too much information until the book is done.
Okay.
But the great thing is that the TV show, I'll be able to show you guys all that.
Oh, that will be wonderful. We'll talk a little bit about that later. We had a couple ideas with the owner of WCOBM prior to the show.
Right.
Do you have any? I'm going to make don't go away, but there's so much going on in Vegas this summer, and I'm going to do some of my shout outs here, but it's amazing how many of the restaurants and pizza places are doing buy this, get one free, and this
Right.
and that and the other, and everybody's throwing it down for Father's Day. If I miss anything, or if I don't get to I can't do like the tickets and times, go to www.vegasonlyentertainment.com under Vegas VIPs for all the minute details. So before I get to what's going on and where I'm going tonight, do you have any barbecue tips for our viewers? Like, they're all out there barbecuing. Is there any, like, throwdowns you could give them?
Well, the biggest one, everybody overcooks their food.
Quit it.
Slow it down a little bit until you actually know how to cook hot and fast and you're ready to rock.
Right.
Slow it down. Your grill has, if you have a gas grill, then you have at least 2 burners. So I have one on high or one on medium high and the other one on low. It's called phase cooking.
Ah.
You can sear, you can get color, you can do all that yumminess on the outside, and then move it over to the other side and slow it down a little bit. And when the juices start to rise to the top, say for chicken.
Okay.
Chicken is great because like boneless, skinless chicken is easy. When you, I say it's easy.
Okay.
When you put the chicken on the grill, it'll start to change color halfway through. You'll be able to see it going through. When it hits halfway, then you can flip it.
But not before that.
Not before that. So then you flip it, and then it'll be dry. You'll actually see the charred part or whatever is dry, right? Well, as the other side starts to heat back up, then the juices will start to come to the top, and then it becomes moist.
Oh.
At that point, it's done. Take it off the grill, cover it with foil for a few minutes, and it's juicy every time.
Thank you for that. I'm one of those who always overcooks everything because of, a lot of us are afraid of bacteria, or we did talk about the Himalayan salt slab that kills all the bacteria.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that would be, I'm putting that on my wish list. But yeah, thank you for that. Now, steaks, I understand there's a rule of thumb. It's like 3 minutes each side.
It depends on how thick there's a lot of variables in it.
Oh, okay, forget it.
Yeah, it's because how thick is the steak, how much marbling is it, the type, how high is your heat, and so on.
And interesting, is it true, and I've said it before, and I believe I read it someplace, you can get sick from raw chicken, but you can't get sick from raw beef unless it touched a contaminant. Is that correct?
I don't 100% believe that.
Okay, well.
But, however, it's a lot less
likely
correct.
to get sick from...
As long as you've heated up the outside to kill bacteria, to certain levels, then it'll kill the bacteria.
And then fish is pretty transparent, on the grill, right? Because you can tell by looking at it, the fish when it flakes or...
Pretty much. It just depends on the type of fish. With salmon, as you're cooking it through, again, you're going to have those levels where you can see it kind of crawling through, the heat. When I always say when you've cooked both sides perfectly, you'll get these little beads on the side of your fillet, of your your salmon piece or whatever.
Okay.
And that's perfectly juicy, moist fish every time. Burgers, same way. When you are grilling it, just let it come up to temperature. Like as it's coming up to temperature, the moisture will start to come to the top. When it comes to the top, that's when you flip it over.
Okay.
Not any earlier.
All right.
Please,
Patience.
please do not press your meat into your grill.
Ah.
If you do that, you're doing two things. One, you're jamming it down into your grill, and two, you're pressing all that amazing juice out.
That's right. A lot of people will do that.
Absolutely.
I like to keep the juices in. I have a real quick horror story. I'm going to share it because you're a chef. Years ago when I was sailing, we would catch ahi in Hawaii, and everybody would take it on the dot and cut it open. And I'm talking in the late 70s And, of course, we were making sushi and ahi and doing the lemon thing. And one time, one of the guys threw a fish out, and he cut it open. It was ahi. And they were, I go, what are all those little weird white things in there? And he went, oh, they're nothing. And he's hosing it off. I go, well, what were they? They were fish flukes, which is the equivalent of worms. And they ate it anyway. So I never...
Saute that up with a little bit of olive oil and a little rosemary.
Aren't they contagious or something?
Yuck.
It was horrible.
There's no way I would eat that, man.
I wouldn't either. And so I never was a sushi person. And people, my son loves it. And I go, no, I remember those little things squirming around in there.
No, thank
Hate
you.
to be
Give
so
those to
negative
Andrew
about
Zimmerman.
it.
He likes them.
Oh, really? Yeah, you're right. He'll eat anything.
Absolutely.
Huh? Ugh, cockroaches and things like. You don't do that, do you? Do you
No, not at all.
Uh-huh.
Not at all.
Okay. And so the best way to keep your barbecue, your grill stuff clean before you put it on the grill, don't leave it sitting out, right?
Right, absolutely.
Ever.
Bacteria is a huge problem, especially in Vegas because it's so hot here.
Absolutely.
Keep it as cold as you can until you put it on the grill.
Okay.
Make sure your grill, people always have a problem with sticking, with your food sticking. Make sure your grill is hot.
Oh.
If it's not hot enough, it's not going to happen. And
Okay.
so,
If it's not hot, it's not going to happen, and don't rush it.
right.
Chef, this has been wonderful. I'm going to take a
this.
minute. I'm not letting you go yet. I
That's
just
okay.
really need to talk about a couple things here because
That's
it's kind of
cool.
what I do.
Sounds good.
Tonight, I am actually going out tonight to Green Valley Ranch for the grand opening of Borracha Mexican Cantina. First, and following that, we're having some cocktail samplings there, and then we're going for a sit-down dinner at Botiglia, Cucina, and Enoteca. So all that's happening at Green Valley Ranch. Those are grand openings.
Very
That's
cool.
one of the perks to being a media person.
I guess.
Cool thing, at Treasure Island, remember Marvel Comics, the Marvel
yes.
characters? They're doing a Marvel's Avengers Station. It's for kids. I like
That's
stuff
cool.
for kids. Educational, they take you through the universe and things like that. I've always loved anything sci-fi. It's open daily at 10, and the last ticket sold at 9 p.m. For the beer drinkers, there's Craft Beer Haven Pub 365 at the Tuscany, one of my favorite spots. I love the Tuscany. And it's 365 because they have 365 rotating craft beers and
Wow.
draft handles. Saying.
Wow.
I know. Red Mercury Entertainment, I love them. They are taking over the box office at the Stratosphere and Entertainment and some of their lineups at the MJ Live Michael Jackson Tribute Show, which I have seen and fabulous.
I want to go.
It's really well worth the trip. Playboy's 2011 Playmate, Claire Sinclair, other shows. Go to Vegas Only Entertainment. Gregory Popovich, he's at the V Theater. He's fabulous. He rescues animals and then does a juggling and whole magic trick.
That's
I've
cool.
seen him. And the cool thing is the animals truly are happier than the audience. There was a dove that got away one time, came and perched behind us, and he looked at it, and it looked at him, and it just flew right back. These animals
That's
are
awesome.
ecstatic. He treats them like family. He's a wonderful man. Oh, the Bellagio Conservatory. As a former sailor, it's all oceanic. Got to go see it.
That's
we should
cool.
all go. They are doing stuff like a 35-foot sunken ship. Can you believe that? Mermaids made of sand and carnations. A whale spouting water. Goodness, it just goes on and on. One of my favorite, Crazy Pita. They're doing the paint, drink, and dine with Pino's palette, and they're 25% of the proceeds go to my favorite Drew Stevens Foundation.
It's so fun.
We have outdoor concerts. We've got downtown outdoor movies. So much going on in Las Vegas. I really can't take the time. I have a great guest next week, world famous Playboy photographer David Meese. So tune in next week. I got to run. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Phil.